you want to play guitar, learn everything that you can about guitar.
Yes.
Spend all your time reading about different kinds of guitars.
Yeah.
Everything you can about it. And
yeah,
that's what I tell someone. Can't learn too much. Can't work too hard.
Yes.
My advice would be essentially the same. Be a geek. You know, you're not going to be popular when you start out because you're going to be the dweeb in the back with your music theory textbook and your, you know, running scales all the time. You are not going to be the cool kid.
Right.
If your goal is to be the cool kid, take up a sport. If your goal is to be a musician, do your time in the trenches. You're going to be so much better for it, and you're going to have so much of a deeper appreciation for not only your music but other people's. You're going to have so many more tools in your arsenal. Exactly what he just said. You know, the more you know about anything, the more things you can do with it. If you're brilliant and you refuse to, you know, learn anything about, you know, theory or technique, if you're brilliant, you're going to be reinventing the wheel.
Yes.
Most of us are not that brilliant. We're not even going to get to the wheel. We're going to be reinventing the rock.
Yeah.
You know, it's so use other people's experience. Use other people's accumulated knowledge. I can't remember who said it about standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
The greatest advances in any field are made by the people who have understood what came before them. So if you want to be a musician, study history, study theory, study technique. Take a lesson or two.
Yeah.
It's really going to be so worth it, and you're going to be a much more innovative and much more creative person as a result.
Yes, definitely. And I think one big mistake, like, because like I said, you know, like I think I did mention this before, they get like this rock star complex and everything. Like, oh, I'm going to, you know, just go out there and start playing shows and I'm going to get mobs of people. I'm going to
start playing shows and people are going to come to those shows.
Yes, magically.
They'll just show up. They'll just hear of me out of nowhere. It's like, but like it takes years and years and years of, you know, of work. It takes years of, you know, building up your brand, you know, and it takes years, you know, till, you know, people are coming to your shows, you know. But you know what? And, you know, if you can get just a little more people at the shows each time, hey, you know what? You're doing a good job. And you know what? And sometimes if you're like, say, competing with, like, say, I don't know, Aerosmith is in town and you have, or like, say it's the Super Bowl. I don't know who in their right mind would schedule a show on the night of the Super Bowl. But, you know, but like a big event like that, chances are, you know, you shouldn't your expectations shouldn't be too high. But you know what? I mean, and sometimes like it varies, you know, sometimes you'll get good crowds, sometimes you'll get, you know, like a little, you know, like a smaller crowd, you know, but you should always, but even like I always say, you know, whether you have 2 people or 200 people in the audience, treat those 2 people as if they are 200. Because you know what, those 2 people can go out there and be like, because I've seen artists like, you know, oh, there's just like 10 people here, oh well, who cares? We're just gonna, we'll just whatever, you know. But you know what, those 10 people, they may go out there and say, yeah, you need to check these guys out, they're awesome, or you didn't miss much, don't bother, you know. So it's like you have to treat every event like it's the most important event ever, you know, and you have to treat, well, like I said, whether it's an audience of 2 or 200, you have to treat them with respect and treat them with the money that they paid for. Because you never know. Those 2 people may buy, like, your whole table's worth of merchandise. They may love you so much. So, and then if you just kind of half-ass it, you know, they'll just be like, you know, okay, whatever, we'll, you know. And then it's like, you know, you may have missed out on getting, like, a few new fans of your work. So, you know.
Again, coming up through noise shows, half the time you're playing for the other bands. Because anybody who's into that sort of music probably plays that sort of music.
Plays that sort of music, yeah. So you're kind of giving a little private concert for each other.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, but yeah, like usually the more obscure, like noise and just the really out there, extreme proggy stuff and everything. Yeah, the audience for that is like pretty slim, like, you know. So.
But you know what? There are thousands of working musicians out there who are not superstars.
Yes.
You would never know their name if you heard it, unless you were a very specific kind of fan. But they're working, they're making,
exactly.
you know, they don't have to work a day job, which is all of our goals. And that's
awesome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you want to be a superstar, you better pray you've got great genetics, and you're the right body build, and you've got the right face for it. Yes. You're extremely photogenic,
and that can change.
That can change.
That can change depending on what the powers that be deem as marketable.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to be a superstar, it's that end of things is luck.
Yes.
You do have to be talented. You do have to work hard. But starting out, your goal should never be to be a superstar. Your goal should be to be a working musician.
Yes.
Because that's a realistic goal.
Exactly. And, you know, and just getting back to, you know, people say, oh, you should audition for American Idol. And, you know, like getting back to that, I think that just goes to show you just how fed the public is on that concept. Like, oh, well, if you just go to this audition, if you just get yourself in front of these people, oh, that's going to, it's like, no, it really, I mean, maybe there's like, if the planets are aligned just right, and, you know, it's a blue moon, and, you know, yeah, maybe, but you know what? Is it really worth, you know, having to, like let's say that happens. Is it really worth having to give up your artistic integrity? Because depending on what, because the music industry isn't what it was, you know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, where people seem to have more creative control over what they did, you know. I mean,
major labels have always been major labels.
Yeah, they've always been major labels, but like, it just seems like now it's like more, you know, just more contrived than ever.
I agree that the major label, that end of the recording industry is, it does feel very contrived to me as well. Yeah. It's rare that you hear something truly unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was that period from maybe the mid-'60s to the mid-'80s where they were trying different things.
Yeah, they were trying different things.
Who happened to be doing different things got to lift up.
Yeah. But now it just seems like, okay, we're looking for this formula, we're looking for somebody to fill this formula, and if you're not going to fill this formula, then, you know. Yeah. Get out, you know, and it's like, you know, like you said, I mean, even though record labels were always record labels, but from like about the mid-'60s to like maybe the 80s, it's like they were at least, you know, giving people who were doing something different a platform. You know, I mean, they've obviously had their, you know, marketing and all that stuff, but they were still like giving actual musicians, like real, like people, like a platform, whereas now it's like it's all pre-recorded stuff. It's like people lip syncing and concerts, and it's like, you know, if I'm gonna pay for a concert ticket, I want the artist. You know, I don't want to listen to like some backing track, you know, of like her. I mean, who cares if she's dancing? I'm not paying to see that. I'm paying to hear the music. You know, it's like, you know, because like a lot of these pop stars, it's like, you know, they're doing so much dancing that. Okay, I mean, understandably, they can't really, you know, keep up with maybe singing the music, but then it's like,
then why are you dancing?
And you know what? You know, being somebody with a musical theater background who's had to dance and sing at the same time, it's just like, it's really not that hard. I don't think. And, you know, it's just about, like,
some of the really acrobatic dancing that they do. Yeah. But it's again, do you want to be a musician or do you want to be a superstar?
Superstar, exactly.
And the two are sometimes mutually exclusive.
Exactly. And, you know, at the end of the, you know, like, when people are like, oh, you know, try for American Idol, it's like, at the end of the day, I'm sorry, I cannot see myself being a Katy Perry. You know,
and that's a good thing.
You know,
that's why we're here talking to you.
Yeah, that's why we're all talking to each other. You know, so, but yeah, but like, you know, but I think a lot of people, I mean, you know, even people that you wouldn't think would fall, you know, would be fed that, you know, are like, they're like, oh, if I could just get something, it's like, it's almost kind of like a be careful what you wish for kind of thing, you know.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it is, and again, it's all through music, and we rail against the major record labels now.
Yes.
But back when it was all patronage and the dukes and princes paying for these. They paid for the specific music they were looking for, and if you didn't fit that you didn't get paid.
Right.
And in terms of, again, getting back to like the idea of the luck of the draw genetic things, one of the best things anybody ever did for me when I was singing classically is explain to me what being an A-level opera singer was, which you have to have the particular vocal build, not technique, not anything else, just your physical body, in order to fill venues like the Met over a full orchestra. And if you didn't have just the physical makeup to do that, you were never going to be an A-level opera singer. That didn't mean you couldn't be a working professional opera singer.
Right.
But don't shoot for being a superstar.
Yeah.
Because being a superstar often has not nearly as much to do with talent as you might think.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, and I think, especially in the pop world, it's like now more than ever, you know, you kind of have, like I said, it's like they're, you know, okay, we're not really looking for anyone who's especially innovative or like maybe a musician where, yeah, we'd want to maybe put our marketing stuff on them, but we could still let them like expose their talent musically and everything and, you know, do that. It's just more like, you know, okay, you know, who could be the next little, you know, pop diva dancing around, you know.
This stuff sold last week. We figure it'll sell this week,
sell
too.
This week, exactly.
So we'll find someone who looks kind of like that, and then we'll auto-tune them all to hell.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's, you know, and like, I mean, I think, what was it, like, back, like, the early thousands or something when, you know, and I have younger sisters, so, but, like, you know, when, like, the boy bands were all the rage. It's like you had Backstreet Boys and Sync. Okay, fine. But then you had this guy over here, you know, then you had these guys over here, and then it's like, you know, and that was, like, around the time, like, I mean, I was slowly starting to stop listening to, like, mainstream radio about the late, you know, like, maybe about that time I was slowly starting to stop listening to mainstream radio because, like, they all, you know, it just got to a point to where it was, like, more commercials than music and everything, and it was just, like, you know...
really homogenous.
Well, very homogenous, whereas, you know, before, okay, maybe you could hear Van Halen followed by some, like... Bette Midler followed by some, you know, but like there was more variety on the radio, like back in the older days and everything. And it's like now and then it was just getting to that point and everything. And then it was just like, I remember one night I was like driving home from somewhere and, you know, and I was just like, you know, I was like, you know, I took my CD out and everything. I was like, I'll just listen to the radio for a little bit, see what's on. Every single song after that was a different boy band. And they had it was like a different boy band or like Britney Spears-ish girl band. It was all the same, and I'm just like, really? Like, this is what people are, like, buying now? I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, I'm sure every era had its teen idols and everything.
Yeah, they did.
But, you know, then, like, you know, listen to David Cassidy, at least he played an instrument and like didn't need to really be auto-tuned and everything, whereas opposed to
the Monkees eventually.
The Monkees eventually, yeah, the Monkees eventually, you know, but it just seems to be like just overkill, you know, and it's just, you know, it's just, I don't know, it just makes me wonder, like really, you know. But yeah,